Now that our social login is working, I want to spend some time to redesign our login page and register page. Let's first start with the login. So we'll switch back to the application and stop it. We'll close all the tabs. Let's go to the login page, and in here we have two forms. First is to log in, and the next form is for external accounts. We will copy this if-else condition, cut that, we'll go to the top here, and let me remove the view data. Let me paste the if-else condition. We'll need the @ sign here, and great, this looks good. Let me make sure we align it properly. You can do Ctrl-A, Ctrl-KD to give it the right indentation. We will just add a parent div here, and we'll close it after the if-else condition. Great, we'll make some space there. Now in here, for each of the external login, you can see that we are generating a button for everything that exists in the model. We want to generate a special button for Facebook, and for the other scenarios we want to use the same button. So in here we can add a if condition, and we can check if provider.name.toLower, if that is equal to Facebook, we want to give it a different style. So if this is Facebook, we will copy this button and paste it in there, and we will add an else condition. There we go. After toLower, we need .contains. Then let's examine the button, and we'll be changing some of the styling here. So rather than btn primary, we have already added the classes for Facebook. We'll make it a button block, and we'll have the Facebook btn. We have already added all of these classes when we were working on site.css that we copied. Here with the Facebook, I also want to use the font awesome for Facebook. So class FAB, then there is FA-Facebook-square, and we'll close the tag. So with this, our form for external login looks good. Let me minimize this. Outside of that, we want to add another form which is for the ID account and post. So we can just copy this form and we'll paste it in here. Great. So we have the first div and then we have the form. We can close this div outside of both of the forms. Let me cut this and we'll paste it when the form closes. Where is that? Right here. This is the old data that we won't need, and we'll remove them in just a second. Let's work on the form here. If you go to the top, you can see we have an if condition where we are checking if any external login exists or not. We can use that same here, and if there aren't any, we'll remove all the things there. And what we want to do is if the count is greater than 0. So if the count is greater than 0, that means that there is an external login, and we want to display a text which will be OR. We'll add a style here, text align center, and we'll just display OR. So you can log in using social account, or you can enter the user ID and password. Then let me remove all of the divs. We will just have the input tag. So first we need to enter the email. We will add a placeholder which will be email. We'll give it a type of email as well. And in class, I'll also give it a margin bottom of 1. Let me copy this and paste this for password. So email and password looks good. Let's scroll down where we have the button. Let me cut this and paste it in here. We'll change the classes from primary to success, and we'll make it btn block. I'll also add a font awesome here, so I class FAS FA-signin ALT. Looks good. So we have email, password, and button. Next, let's implement the forgot password. So we'll scroll down. We have the anchor tag for forgot password. Let me cut this. and we'll paste it after the submit button. We will give it some of the Bootstrap classes of padding bottom 2 and text info. Then I want validations, but I do not want individual validation. I want a generic validation. So for that, rather than ASP validation for, we know we can use ASP validation summary. And this will be equal to all and class text danger. After that, we need a link to redirect them to register. So we can just copy this, or rather cut this and paste this after the ASP validation summary. We will add some of the Bootstrap classes here, which is btn, btn info, and text white. Then let me remove everything else in here. So we'll remove that, and we'll also remove the temp data that we had. Let me save this and run our application to see how things are. Here, if I notice the ASP validation summary is not recognized, and that is because this will be inside a div since we have all the summary. Once you save that and go to login, we have an error here, and that's because all is caps. It should be ALL with a lower else. Along with all the changes, I forgot to add the class to div to style it. So in here, we just need to add an ID because we are retrieving that ID and we are designing that inside the site.css. So the ID I want to give is logrec-forms. Make sure this is a plural S, and once you save this, let's go back and refresh. And great, our login screen looks much more clean now. I just want to add a sign in text here, so if we go back quickly, right here after the logrec-forms, I will add an h1 tag which will display sign in. Once you save this and refresh, perfect, this is looking good. Let me add some padding, and so if we go here, we can just remove the paragraph and we'll scroll up. We will add padding top of 4. Let's see how this looks. In the next video, let's work on register.